Hey everybody, we're going to be looking at masks today, but I want to go over the object selection tool because I stumbled around with it on our last video. So with the object selection tool, I'm noticing more that I'm using it. When you make the box, you'll see in the middle of the box there's this plus sign, and you can see it falling right on this person's face where that should be in the middle of the object it wants selected. So when I release, notice it does a really nice job of picking out the flesh tones and everything like this. Of course, no selection is going to be perfect, but I'm going to come back here and now start picking up some of the shirt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the quick selection tool, and I could have scrolled through this with my W's and found it for sure. Notice I have a large brush. If I want to make it any smaller, instead of coming up here and using and toggling the brush and putting in a number, I like to use, coming over here, boom, I'm going to use the brackets. So bracket left is smaller, bracket right is bigger. So, or I'll say left bracket, right bracket. So I'm going to click here. Let's see how much of the shirt. Oh, picked up the shirt nicely. And then it did a bunch over here that I didn't need, and some over here. So let's go back and use the lasso tool. I'm just going to fine tune this. I'm going to subtract, and I'm just going to come roughly around what I got over here. And I mean roughly. So let's get rid of that. Bam. And let's come up here. Come up to my hair. My hair is going to be a little tough. And I'll do this. So now that I have this, we're going to go one step further. You're going to find up here under all the selection tools, it says Refine Edge. And I think this is absolutely wonderful. So when I click on it with Refine Edge, let's give it a second. It's working. You're going to notice the two pictures here. This is what's going to happen if I put a mask on it, and this is my image over here. I'm going to get closer to my image with Control Plus, and when I want to move it, I hold the space bar down, and I can move it. You're going to see, the closer I get, that the computer's already done it because I've made a selection, that there is kind of a gray border around everything. You can see it, and my brush is going over it here on the left-hand side. Well, that's telling me what it is, and it looks really good overall. If I look at certain things, my hair's picked up pretty well. I can see it, but if I want to get more detail, like some of these hairs over here on my left, you can see it, I can get those in there, and here's how I do it, okay? So I'm going to be working with the actual photograph, and I will see the difference over here, but I'm going to be working over here. So the white means I'm blocking something out. It's always going to be there. So let me show you how this works. And I'm going to use my brackets again. So I'm going bracket small, and it's getting smaller. I'm going to click on the white, and notice if I do white on the hair over here, notice I'm doing the white. Over on my picture, it takes a moment to do it because it's actually registering and I get it. Notice you can see everything over here, okay? And that's wonderful, but I don't want that. I just want to get a few of those hairs. So I'm going to go Control Z, pull that back. I guess Control Z, Control Z works, just a little smaller. I'm going to use gray. Gray is what we call unknown. And notice white is foreground, which means I can see it. And then black is background where I can hide it. So I'm going to go to unknown, and I'm going to put a little gray over those hairs there. And let's see if it picks it up. And again, it's processing, it's doing some work, and notice I can see the hairs picked up right there. It didn't pick up the background, which is really nice, and those are some of the things I can do. Now, I missed a couple of hairs up top here when I did my subtraction. So I'm going to come up here again, pick up some of these hairs. Let's see if it picks it up. And let's see what happens. Over here on the right, yep, they picked up over here really nice and easy. Now I can move around by holding the space bar down, and I can just check things out. Everything looks pretty good over here. I like this. Looks nice here. And I'm just checking over my work. Now, notice it's a little rough here around the shoulder here, as you can see right here. I can do two things. I can either use the black, and I can use a small brush, and I'm going to use my bracket left, and make it smaller. And I can actually just paint over what I don't want to see. And again, no one knows what you're going to be hiding. So I've just hidden all that, and watch what happens with that little gray on my right-hand side. It's just thinking, and notice it all goes away. Works out really, really well. Let's move this over here. This looks really good. Everything looks good. Once I like it, you're going to come over here to the right-hand side. It says new layer when it defaults at it. I have it down as selection because that's what I want to do. And I say, okay. And my selection will be more fine-tuned. If I want to take a look at it, there may be some spots in here that I don't like. And notice I'm picking up some of these spots inside here. I can easily get rid of those by using my lasso tool. I'm going to unite them or combine. Notice they all go away. Just a matter of doing something like this. Bam. So once I have that, now I'm ready to make a mask. Now what a mask is I'm keeping the integrity of the actual photograph. Most people want to go ahead and hit delete and they'll delete that part of the image, or I could inverse delete. Let's try that right now. I'll show you. It is select inverse. And when I hit delete, I'm actually deleting it, but I'm deleting my picture. If you look over here on my layers, I'm deleting the picture. I don't want to do that. I always want to be able to go back and reference my picture in case something does happen and I need that picture for something else. So I did Control Z. I'm going to go back and have my selection back to where I originally had it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here on the right-hand side of my layers. You're going to see a link. You're going to see the word EFF, a half ball. Here's where it is. It's a square with a circle. It's called Add Raster Mask. Once I click it, you're going to notice two things. My background is gone. It's white. And then you're going to see this over here next to my photograph, a black and white picture of the actual selection I made. That is crucial. Notice I can actually delete the mask if I wanted to. I have it highlighted because it has the dotted line around it. If I delete it, notice, oh, deleted the whole thing. Excuse me. When I get rid of the mask, pop that in there. Notice my picture's back there again. But I don't want to do that right now. Notice it's black and white. That's a positive thing. I hit the Alt button, I click on it. Notice I can see my mask. I can see everything. And you see some grays in here, and that's why it's a little flush. But this is a great thing. Now notice I can see some of my glass over here. Let's get a little closer. That means it's not the full picture. You can see some of these things that it's hidden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. I'm going to use my paintbrush. My paintbrush is going to be black and white. As you can see, I have it as default. If you click this little D here, it defaults to black and white. White will reveal things. As you can see right here, the white around it reveals my face, and the black hides things. As you can see, the background is missing in my picture when you saw it. So I'm going to go to my paintbrush. Again, use my bracket small or bracket left. I'm painting white, as we can see, and I'm going to get rid of some of those pieces like that. Oop, I went a little too much there. Don't want to get too aggressive. And that means some of those details will start showing up on the picture when it wasn't before. So I'm just going to go back here. Yes, those are showing up a little bit better. But now watch this. And I'm going to have my picture showing. But yet, notice in my layers, I'm going to go back to the black and white. Okay, so here's what's happening. I have a white brush, and I'll make it a little bit bigger. If I do a white brush in the black area, notice I can bring back my background. And it's amazing. Real simple. Control Z, or I can do the opposite. I can change my colors by hitting this swap colors here. Notice the top colors always going to be the ones using, and I can hide things. And it works out really, really well. Now, let's take it one step further. Maybe I want to give it a little halo around me, or I want to make my this edge not so rough. I can come up to the blend or up to the brush tool and mess with my hardness. Let's go a hardness of 0. That means, come over here, when I'm using my brush, I'm going to go a little bit bigger. The edges are not hard and they're a soft, subtle. And notice I'm kind of taking gently away and I'm kind of giving myself, go minus, looks like I've got a light source from behind me coming, and it's kind of haloing it through. There's all kinds of really cool things you can do that. But here's the best thing. I can always get rid of my mask, and I have my original picture. Now, if I use the eraser tool, or say if I deleted everything, I can't do that anymore. I'm stuck with it. Again, it's just a matter of me taking the mask and just deleting the mask. I'm just going to hit the old, should be, boop, my mask, drop that in there, and I'm back to my original picture. That's why masks are so crucial. And using that brush, painting white and black, can fine tune everything and anything. So that's the importance of masks. It is, I believe, the most important tool in Photopea or Photoshop because they're so in tune with each other. All right, guys, have a great day. If you have any other questions, just send me a comment.